Job search is strenuous. Your core hack is to choose one job title within one particular industry. The speed at which it takes you from seeing the opportunity, validating when the job was posted, and then applying is also very important. You may have the best CV, but it could be that you got in very late. Normally, they tell you that don't put all your eggs in one basket. When it comes to job search and all of that, actually put all your eggs in one basket.
50 jobs, all rejected. What do you think? I'm sure there'll be so many problems, but what do you think, or what do you think will be like the number one problem he's probably having?
Number one problem, I would say he's not diagnosing his process well. He's not treating it as a sales process, and he's not diagnosing the problem.
Please elaborate on that.
So, I'm privileged to have done sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I approach a lot of things through a sales lens. Anytime you have to give something for something else in return, it's a sale. Whether you're selling your idea to your boss to execute it, or you are working at a company, you're going through a recruitment process, everything is literally a sale. And I've also been privileged to be on, 4 different sides of the table. So I've been a career coach, over 10 years. I've also been a hiring manager, building career wheel and hiring people on the team. I've been a career transition. I've transitioned careers 5 times over the past 10 years. It's crazy. I've been a recruiter as well. Yeah, so I work with Wave Mobile Money at a point, recruiting talent. I also did some work for Zipline and a couple of companies. So I've had like an idea about the different sides, right, of the story as a business owner, as a recruiter, and it's deepened my perspective on things. And one thing that I know for sure is that job search has evolved from just having a resume, right, to being able to court, I say court because I'm looking at it as a sales process. So being able to court and prospect employers, being able to present yourself as a valuable person, and then being able to close the sale in terms of arriving at what you're supposed to pay me for my skills. And in between, like, again, it's a sales process. So first of all, your resume helps you to talk about your value, right? That's one way to talk about your value. There's also like you being able to interview properly. So you can even get the best, resume. But then if you're not interviewing properly, the final end game, which is the conversion at the end, getting the offer, will not be reached. In the case of 25-year-old Anaman, who is not getting even across the interview, across to the first interview, it's a case of his resume is probably, not telling the story that's supposed to tell. So it's not speaking to the job that they are trying to apply for. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen a case where young people see job opportunities. The first thing they do is that they answer mentally that I can do this job. That's what they tell themselves. I can do this job. Then they go ahead and put together a resume, which doesn't necessarily speak about how they can do the job.
Okay.
And then they submit it. Right. And there are cases where some people told me that, I'm waiting for them to call me for an interview so that I now explain how I can bring value to them. But then that's like late work, because the whole idea of the resume is for it to give enough signal to be invited to an interview.
So at that point, we are looking beyond you putting your name, what you can do, where you've worked, experience, or whatever.
Exactly. So we are looking at that same information, right? But then that information has to speak to the job description. So if in the job description, I'm telling you that, hey, I need someone to handle, management of a branding studio. And then you have done maybe some incredible work. Maybe you did events somewhere. And then in your resume, you're talking about how you organize like some impressive event. At that point in time, you're not speaking to what I need as an employer or as a recruiter. So it's really a case of being able to tell your stories right, right? And ensuring that every requirement in the job description, you are reflecting those requirements in the stuff that you've done on the resume. But most importantly, you're not just saying that I can do A, B, C, D, but then you're showing a demonstrable result.
Okay.
Because as a recruiter, this is how most candidates I've come across think. They think of it as, I can do it. So give me a shot. Recruiters think of it as, you've done it before. So then that gives me the confidence that you can do it again. So if your resume is not signaling demonstrable history of things, you're not talking about things that you've done. So exactly like you asked me, why African Talent Plug? And I told you literally, I've plugged 5 talents over the past, 18 months or whatever in my place of work. That is what a recruiter would need to say, you know what? I would want to have a conversation with you. That's like a strong signal for me because a recruiter is also, reporting to the hiring manager. The hiring manager is the one that set the specs. So the recruiter is finding the person, giving them, handing them over to the hiring manager to continue the interview process. So if you are not speaking the language, they are making their work very difficult. Like, how do they defend you in front of the hiring manager?
Yeah.
So that's like one of the core dynamics that exists with, submitting resumes and not hearing back and whatnot. The other dynamic is if you apply late. And that's also one of the things that people do not know. So if a job has been open for like 4 weeks. Let me put it 4 weeks. Within that 4-week period, I may have accumulated about 400 applicants. And if I'm going like, a merit-based approach, I would want to attend to those who applied first. If I get enough good seats there, I'll most likely not look at the rest of the applications. So then the speed at which it takes you from seeing the opportunity, validating when the job was posted, and then applying is also very important. You may have the best CV, but it could be that like you got in very late. And there are ways to sort of, go around that, like code message people after applying so that they recognize you and whatnot. Like it's a whole, should I say ball game, right? And it's a sales process, like I put it.
When you were talking about recruiting and maybe the job application, when was NFT a thing? During COVID,
21, 20, yeah. 2020, 2021.
So I got the opportunity to work for a crypto company. First, I was just the designer. Then the company started growing. So I was made the lead to start hiring people. And I think I was leading about 11 designers. And the process to hiring these people, I realized that actually the times I was looking for a job, because the applications are coming in. And I was just thinking about it subconsciously. I'm just opening the CV. I just scan through. It's like I'm looking for something. So if I don't find it, I just close it. And I was not necessarily paying attention to like, this is what I'm looking for. But like, exactly. It's like when you open it,
signal.
There were certain documents you open it, you just see Behance link, you open it, nothing. You're trying to look for portfolio. Okay, how can I contact this person? Boom. And I'm like, wow. So this is what is happening.
This is what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. I'm talking about like you demonstrating. Because when I open the CV, I don't want to just use design. I want to see something. So there's no portfolio. Exactly. I remember there was about 10 people that submitted CV with no portfolio. Then I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, because that means if I'm bringing it to the next day, that means I'm going to have 10 different conversations.
Exactly.
And I'm not ready for that.
Exactly. I'm not ready for that. So it's a case of like time crunch.
Yep.
A lot of people do not understand this business. I'm not saying the businesses are right, but they just gotta do what they have to do.
To be honest.
And you realize that, I need to close this role within 1 month because the business is running without the person. Someone else is burning out inside the company. And then I need to ensure that I'm hiring this person quickly. So if you do not present things as quickly as possible, I would ask you. And, that's the sad part because the people who are presenting a resume may have all the amazing skills, but because the resume is not speaking to what they do, they are labeled as not qualified. Yeah. And that's one of the sad things that, for me, I'm not happy with, right? So after doing recruitment and all of that for some time, I'm like, you know what? I want to like help more people on the other side. Like, it's just so, it's annoying for me if people are losing out on opportunities just because they are not able to communicate easily, right? So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm really passionate about solving for the continent.
So now, 25-year-old Anaman has understood he has a sales problem. Now, with everything we're explaining, it means that if I'm going to apply to 10 different jobs, I need to tailor my CV or resume to 10 different.
Exactly. So there's a hack, there's a way to go about that. And normally, they tell you that don't put all your eggs in one basket. When it comes to job search and all of that, actually put all your eggs in one basket. Yes, you have to put all your eggs in one basket. And I'll tell you why. You can create multiple baskets, right? But you have to put all your eggs in one basket. Job search is strenuous, right? You have to speak the language that employers want to hear and whatnot. And most often than not, you find people applying for different jobs. So someone sees a product design role, they jump at it. They see a product manager role, they jump at it. At least these roles are a bit technical, but let's take it to the ops level, right? The ops people we probably see like, marketing, I can apply, let me jump at it. Then they go and see maybe operations. Like, well, I've done a bit of that, let me jump at it. So they keep spreading themselves very thin, not telling one specific story. And the more they go, the more they burn out, the more they don't get results to as well. So it creates a vicious cycle, right? Now, what I advise is this: find a target job title. Find a target job title. And mostly job titles move with industries. So a product manager in the pharma industry is different from a product manager in the tech industry. A product manager in the pharma industry is like a product marketing manager in a tech industry, literally.
Okay.
So if you're a product manager in the pharma industry, you can transfer your skills to becoming a product marketing manager in the tech industry. But then if you go blanketly like, okay, I'm targeting product management jobs without talking about the industry, then again, you're back to square one. Because you look at product manager from a pharma company, product manager from a tech company, and the job descriptions are different. So your core hack is to choose one job title within one particular industry. Well, if you like, you can choose a couple of job titles within a couple of industries. That's your first cue. Now, when you're done, you're supposed to build a base CV for each of these roles so that you now narrow your focus. Maybe your focus is career, like me. When I show you my career coach resume, it's completely different from showing you my product management resume. You actually feel like it's two different people, but I'm telling two different parts of the story. So I have a career coaching CV. I have an entrepreneur and founder CV, and I have a product manager CV. So then if I come across things around, hey, looking for a career coach, all of that, I could take the career coach CV and just tweak it a bit, right, to suit that company's language. But most importantly, that base CV would most likely contain a lot of keywords connected to the career coach role. So if it's product management, like it's pretty much standard. Product management in the tech space, it connects. So you would see all the roadmaps, all those things in the resume, right, to speak to the whatever the employer is talking about. So by doing this, you save yourself a lot of time, right? Rather than spreading yourself thin, you now start seeing opportunities. Your search also becomes very tailored. Like you start gravitating towards opportunities that you've actually chosen. So I tell people that, well, if you go out of your house looking for a red car, you'd always find those red cars.
Yep. Like I've been seeing GLA all around.
Exactly. Right? If you have a particular car, you would see that particular car.
Yep.
So it's the same approach, right? Rather than trying to see all the cars, why don't you just focus? And the more you focus, the more it becomes very clear. And it actually makes your sales process very efficient.
Right.